This is my 28-day later, 10 pounds lighter update video from the newly named CoVid cave that I have been quarantined in for the last 28 days. And unfortunately, I'm still positive. I'm positive that I've still got COVID symptoms, and my test has also shown that I still have the virus. So a little bit disappointing, simply because on some days, which was certainly earlier today, you actually feel a little bit better. And it is something that I have come to call the COVID coaster, or the COVID roller coaster of, you know, one day's good and then one day's bad. And you just have to listen to your body, because this is not a whole lot of fun and not anything that you would wish anyone to have to endure. So 28 days in, let me tell you about my last 28 days. I was diagnosed with pneumonia at day 6, had a little trip to the local hospital. The paramedics were excellent. The fire service were here in a very quick manner, all very professional. Spent a day in the CoVid ward and just sat there on my own, really. It was very sad. Nobody wanted to touch me. To think that you're a COVID leper, it came to mind. It was a very isolating experience and very scary. And thankfully, I walked out of there with some antibiotics for my pneumonia, and came back to the safety and love of my COVID cave and my husband. Anyway, so COVID symptoms have been anything but normal. Thankfully, I'm now in a COVID support group for people that have had COVID for sort of a long time. And I can tell you that my symptoms started with joint pain, muscle aches, fatigue, just feeling really bad. And then it manifested into a loss of taste and smell. Obviously, I had a whole lot of difficulty breathing with the pneumonia, which is it's not a COVID symptom. It is something that people with COVID often get because of the probably the lack of your immune system. So in the last 28 days, I've had issues with my eyes, with feelings of scratchy, almost like a conjunctivitis, and just having to lie in the dark and listen to the radio. I've had mouth sores all over my tongue, in my mouth, lots of fatigue in the past 4 weeks. I don't know how many hours I've slept, but it feels like at least probably 17 or 18 hours a day I spend in bed. You get a racing heart rate, you get sweats, and of course, after this amount of time, there's a little bit of COVID depression going on. And you try and think positive, it's almost like you think you're over it, and then it wallops you back down to reality. So, you know, even though my tests came back positive, you know, it's an affirmation that I still have the virus and I still need to take care of myself. And let me tell you a little bit about the tests. First test I had done was they swabbed my throat. And then I had another test done where they touched me with a feather in my nasal cavity. And then the third one was a literally Q-tip up the nose, almost up through my eyeball into my brain. It was painful. And that's the one that came back, well, the throat and the brain one came back positive. So be aware of the kind of testing that you get, because a swab around your nose just on the inside is not going to give you an accurate result. So, okay, it's a long video. I don't actually talk that much. So what am I doing? One of the big things is I'm sleeping, and I try to listen to my body as much as possible. Drinking lots of water, staying hydrated. I go out, if I can, into the sunshine every day and get vitamin D. I go and stand outside and ground myself. You know, I don't have a whole big appetite simply because I can't smell or taste anything. I think one day I went through my whole spice cabinet just to see if I could identify anything, but alas, no. But I'm drinking a lot of bone broth, a lot of vegetable soups, juicing a lot. Obviously, eating is difficult because if you don't have an appetite and if you can't smell your food, you don't really want to eat anything. I am completely avoiding sugar and dairy and alcohol. What else am I doing? I mean, I feel like I could shake myself and you'd hear me, I'd be like a pill bottle. But vitamins and minerals are a huge part of my daily routine. Lots of vitamin C, lots of B complex, lots of selenium, zinc, zeaxanthin to help me get my taste and smell back. Vitamin D, really important, and essential fatty acids. So it's a battle. Every day it's a battle, and every day it's a little bit different. You know, sometimes you feel you're going a little bit crazy because of all the different symptoms that you get, and suddenly they come on very, very quickly without warning, and you think, what is happening? But the big thing is, you know, I get outside and try and get some sunshine every day. I try and walk a little bit, but aerobic exercise absolutely is out of the question, just because it just puts too much stress on my heart and lungs. So it's just a very quiet existence with radio, books. I'm getting to be an expert at cribbage, which I already was, but now I'm really good. And what else do I do? Listen to music. So a different part of my life that one day I will look back on and learn so much from. But right now, it's, like I said, on the COVID roller coaster, in the COVID cave. Gave myself a COVID haircut because 4 weeks, long time not to have a haircut. And if you're watching this, I can't thank my friends and family enough for the support and love that people have sent me. It is appreciated. Every little message, I read it. Sometimes I can't reply because I'm tired, but I feel it, and I'm going to get better. And like I said, this is just a little road bump in life, and it will teach me so much, and hopefully I can share some of those pearls of wisdom with you. So hoping that you are being mindful out there, that you are taking care of your personal hygiene, you're wearing protective gear when you're out in public, that you are mindful of social distancing, that if you feel like you're getting sick, that you either quarantine or go and get a test. And by the way, the results are coming a whole lot quicker now. So it is so much easier to get tested and then get the results, especially here in Arizona. I think the last one that I had was a 2-day turnaround. So thank you for watching, and I'll put another video up at some time in the near future.